Hey, it's JD here, and boy, do I have to change that photograph. It looks like I'm being held up or something by a friendly person because I'm smiling, but I don't know, it's strangely surprised or something.
Hey,
I'm
it's probably
here.
better than your passport photo or something,
Oh
right?
my gosh, my passport. The last passport photo I took was just recently, and it was during. I'm here. We're here live right now, and with Sarah J. So how's it? First of all, before I tell my little anecdote, how are you doing, man?
I am good. I'm good. It is Sunday afternoon, so we're just kind of in that weird moment of the weekend and the week
Yeah,
ahead. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's like that moment between dawn and dusk. Your
for
chores
sure.
are done, but you're not ready for bed.
For
It's
sure.
like what do you do? Right?
For sure. Hang
Yeah.
out here with you. That's what we
Hey,
do.
that's right. If you're watching along on YouTube, and apparently there's one person, and you want to join us, you can join us here in the StreamYard studio. I'll post that link on the socials so you can grab that and join us if you would like. We today are going to spend a little bit of time, depending upon the nature of these conversations, but talking about the new Paul record that surprisingly dropped on Friday afternoon. You're shaking your head like
It's
you're
Johnny's
incredulous.
album.
What did I just say, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Good grief, Jamie. Well, I'll tell you what. What I meant was Johnny. And it dropped on us surprisingly on Friday. We knew it was coming, but I had reached out to Jake Gold and asked for any details, and he gave me nothing. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It just came
Maybe
out
he
of nowhere.
didn't really know. Uh, I was, following along on Instagram with all the stuff and like the recent posts, like Johnny's mom just passed away, like
Right.
just recently. Um, and so like he had dedicated this album to her, and which if you watch the docu-series, his mom was such a huge part of his story and how badass she was.
He calls
um
her his life and fire spirit,
yeah, I mean, she
which is
was
so
just
cool, right?
I can only imagine just from what we saw, so I can only imagine the people that really knew her. um But it was interesting even from the beginning, he always talked about planetary things and, referenced when they were recording in Violent Light,
Yeah.
which sounds like was probably one of his favorite albums, but definitely a memorable recording experience for him to bring it up
Yeah.
this many years later and talk about like the meteor shower when they were there. Um, So for it to be released on Friday when there was the whole planetary thing with all the planets, but
Mercury
it kind of
joined.
felt really on brand though. Like it felt
It
really
totally
on
did.
brand.
Because
Yeah.
Friday was the day that Mercury emerged as part of
Yeah,
the
it
the
was
lineup.
really cool. Like that was all a
Yeah.
really cool thing behind it, and like that was neat. So yeah.
Oh, so
But
cool.
if
So the
you know
record
me,
is
I mean,
called
you know me, I love that kind of shit anyway. So
So the
but it
record
was
is
neat.
called Mercury Sea, and like we said, it is dedicated to the life and fire spirit of my mum. And it's spelled M-U-M, Loretta Faye, 1930 to 1925. Well, hell, she had a wonderful
That's a
run.
hell of a life.
Yeah. We're very
Jeez.
sorry for you, Johnny, of course. But
Wow. Wow.
I mean, I lost my mom, and that was, I lost my mom and my dad, and it's terrible. It tears a
Yeah.
strip off of you for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really feel for you at this time. This record, though, let's
It's
talk about
it's
it, Sarah
it's
J.
really good. I really like it. And disclaimer, if anybody's like go in with zero expectations because it's not at all what you're expecting it to be.
No.
If you haven't listened to it yet, like just don't expect anything because it's not at all what you're going to expect it to be, but it's
Well,
really
I've
good.
got a couple tracks here. If anybody in the live stream, there's two people watching, wants to hear one of the songs, we can definitely play them. Just let me know in the chat if you haven't heard, or if you've got a favorite, let me know. Sarah, do you have a favorite?
I love it. I wrote it down too because I was like, I love all these, but I wanted to make sure I got them right. The last two tracks
Yes,
are
yes.
my two favorites of the
We
whole.
are
The
aligned
whole
once
album
again.
is really good, and it's just oozing in Brian Eno vibes. Like that was
When
the
you said that
first.
to me yesterday, I was like, bang on,
Oh, it's
sister.
the first thing I thought within the first 3 seconds. I'm like, Brian Eno. I'm like, makes sense though. It's just, it's really good. I'm just blown away with how great it is. And you can tell he had a really good time like making it. It's just like the vibe that's coming from it too.
Yeah, and I suspect based on his personal situation, we're not going to hear a great deal of press from him on this record for some time anyway. Uh, somebody mentioned a tour. I don't know. I don't know how you would tour on these 6 songs. I got to tell you, like it would
I'm
be,
really
you could.
interested. Like I didn't dig into it because it is only Sunday, so I haven't really had a chance to dig into it, but I'm really interested like who else is
Me too. I
on
haven't
the
found. There's
album,
nothing on
like
Wiki. There's nothing on his website.
yeah.
The only place there might be is Bandcamp. Let me look right now while we're talking.
I'm
If you
just
want to vamp
interested
for a
to
minute,
see, because I just naturally go into all the all the all the questions, but and I will say too, if you have the opportunity to listen to this for the first time, do it on headphones
bang on. Yeah.
because there's just so much depth to all of it that but it's only like a 19-minute record. It's not very long at all, but
Nope.
it's fantastic and it's really cohesive in the way that it flows together too. Um it's just
Okay, I've
really
got a
done.
bit of information for you.
Okay.
Released January 22nd, 2025. So it sat in the bush for a little bit then. I thought it came out on Friday, which would have been the 24th. Hmm, okay. Mixed by David Botrell, mastered by Noah Mintz, additional engineering and editing by Anthony. Okay, I thought it was the same last name for a second. Anthony Yordanov, David Mohaski, Adam Hart, Alistair Sims, Juan Fran Alonso, Amy King, Jason Metal, Donkersgord, Mark Vreekin, Brian Wong, and Johnny Fay. Cover art by Brian Steely, and the cover art is amazing.
Mhm.
And the Bandcamp photo, Dave Bastido, which makes a ton of sense. Not
Mhm.
who produced it though, so you got to guess it's Johnny himself, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And if you want to support him, it's on all the streaming systems, but you can go to Bandcamp and you can buy the digital record in high quality, what is this? Wave, 24-bit wave files. And it's only $6. So it's $1 a song. So, you know, support Canadian music, support indie music. And fuck, man, he's a
It's
member of the
worth
Tragically Hip.
it's worth it, trust me. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. For sure.
So should we listen to what's the short one called? We'll just give it a listen and then we will
I'm gonna have to look. I was just
that's
listening to
okay.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I got it
Um,
right in front of me like a moron. Nassau Cloud. Okay.
yeah,
Tell this is
which
you
makes
know.
sense because that's what he was talking about in the first post that he had made about the album was when they were recording the album there in the
Ah,
Bahamas. Yep.
okay.
Mhm.
Well, let's give that one a listen. Did it start playing it again? No, that's how it ends. No. All right. So that's Nassau Cloud. And I don't know. This is it's it's very atmospheric, obviously, I think is a great way to put it.
Mhm.
We're going to add Justin to the call now. Uh, Justin, we are just talking about the new Johnny Faye record, and we just listened to Nassau Cloud, which is one of the tracks on it. Have you had a chance to listen to the record yet?
No, I have not. I
You
have
got to
not.
get
Hey,
on it,
Sarah,
son.
how are you?
Hi.
You got to
Great
get on there.
roundtable, by the way. No, I know, I know, I know. Well, Kirk just sent it to us the other day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm just driving.
I was
I
just
haven't
getting
seen this
ready to.
jam session thing, so I'm checking it out, man.
Yeah, well, there was 3 people in the chat, and there's 3 of us here. Anybody else can join that wants to, and we're just talking the hip.
Right on.
So I
I
was
am
just describing
driving, and I'll be here for about 10 minutes.
very dangerous. We don't condone this, of course.
On location.
No,
I
no,
love
it's,
it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
I
right.
was just describing the record as, I don't want to, spoiler alert. I'm not going to get into huge details, but I'm going to steal a term that was used on the roundtable, and that's cinematic and atmospheric. And you could imagine it being. I sent it to a friend, and I told him, smoke a joint, put on some headphones, and listen to this record.
Totally.
It's going to take you 20 minutes. And he wrote back and he said, I feel like I just watched the trailer for a movie about Batman gone bad, and the only people that can save him are Crockett and Tubbs. So he had this whole fantasy script uh, based around this, this soundscape, really.
I love it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it for sure is soundscape, because it's really, like I said, it's really cohesive in the way that it's laid out too. And sometimes and I don't like ambient music really at all, but I really like this, and I think it's because of the cohesiveness of it. It's, sometimes with ambient albums it's a little clunky in the way that it flows, but it does feel like it tells a story.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Right
yeah, I can
on.
agree with that. Yeah. And headphones
Now,
are a must,
so,
Justin.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I totally will.
100%.
Now, what's the band like? Is it, just
You have to listen to it because
guitar,
it's not
bass,
a band.
drums,
You're
sing?
gonna have to just listen to it. Just
Yeah.
listen to it. And I was
Okay.
gonna say that too. I did notice, I think the post was updated, but the very first post on Instagram, there's actually, everyone is listed out. Electric violin, guitar, mix, master, cover art, and everybody's like tagged in there too. So
Oh, cool. Okay, so check that
yeah.
out on Insta for sure.
So yeah, Johnny Faye Music on Instagram. If anybody's on Instagram, give him a follow.
Yeah.
Now,
And if you're not on Instagram,
I
what's going on?
I don't know if this will spoil it or not. I don't know if this will spoil it or not if you answer or not, but I know that Johnny Faye has done he did some of the backup vocals on the Gordon Bob record. Does he sing in this?
No, it's like Sarah J
No.
said, it's ambient music.
It's ambient. It's Brian Eno.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
that's what I tell everybody. Like that's why I sent it to some of my friends who are just like Eno fanatics, and I'm like, hey, so I got something that I think you guys are gonna like, and they've all loved it. So that's been a cool way
Right on.
for me to get like other people, like now into this music. Like, oh hey, well, this just came out.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's not music that you can you can imagine dancing to, unless you were like, I don't know, strung out maybe.
It's definitely just vibing music. Like I had it on And I was just like earlier when I was kind of planning my week for the week ahead, I kind of look at my calendar and everything. And so I had it on then, and it's just really great to just, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm here
Good.
for
Yeah,
it.
All right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That's good.
So let's shift gears here, metaphorically, Justin. I don't want you getting in any sort of transmission trouble.
It's an automatic. We're good.
Hey, you just stepped on my segue, buddy.
Sorry.
I thought that was pretty fucking good.
It was good.
Off the top of my head.
It was.
So let's shift gears and talk about earlier this week I threw a reel up and I asked the question, which album should be the next to get a box set treatment? And it was really interesting. There were a lot of great comments, but a lot of them were, this is what I think, not this is what I feel. Mm-hmm. Like it was like, next year's the 30th anniversary of Trouble at the Hen House, so that should be the one. And hey, that makes sense, but they were off by a year for Phantom Power.
Right.
Weren't they? I think they were. Road Apples, they were 35. That Fully Completely box set, I don't even know if it counts as a box set. Like, it's got a live record, it's got B-sides, but it's before they were doing these deluxe treatments, So I don't know. So I'll throw it out to the table here. What record would you want to see get the box set treatment?
You know what I'm going to say. You know what my answer is going to be. It's interesting, and I took a picture of this when I was reading the book I'm reading right now, because of the post that you made, and they were in this paragraph. Robbie talks about shadow albums, that they've done a few records where there's a light album and a shadow album. There's probably 8 or 10 tracks of really interesting tunes. Some of them felt like they were just too personal or awkward somehow to put on the record.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
So I read that like yesterday morning or this morning, and it made me think of what you had posted about that. So he referred to it as shadow records.
I love that.
Yeah. So just like think about that. Like if that ever gets to the point where, as time goes on, maybe songs feel a little less uncomfortable and a little less awkward. And so then they feel ready to do that, and so that'll be really interesting to see what comes when they do reissue whatever, or, release or do box sets of whatever's to come. That, reading that is just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, there might be some unplugged gems out there for sure.
There's a lot of other things that, just aren't out there. So that's crazy.
J-Dog, how about you, buddy?
Well, I would love to see more from the era when I first found them, which would be early 2000s. But I never really got into In Between Evolution until just recently. And what a fucking album. And I know that you love it too, JD.
Oh my God.
But I also really, there's something really captivating about In Violet Light, and it's just a cannot put it down album.
That's 2 for In Violet Light.
It's my favorite. It's
so good. I've said this a million times. The last 4 tracks on that album is my favorite run of any 4 sequencing that they've done on anything.
Okay, that's with Dark Canuck. What is the 4? Dark Canuck.
Leave.
Yes.
Dark Canuck, Direwolf, and help me out. There's one more I can't remember.
Hold on.
Pulling it up right now. Sarah's gonna beat me.
We're all like,
shit.
Fast fingers. The last 4: Leave, A Beautiful Thing, The Direwolf, and The Dark Canuck.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a dynamite record, and I'll tell you what, if you've
Yep.
listened to the podcast, there was an Easter egg on the Johnny Faye episode where after the credits roll, I asked Johnny about music at work potentially being done. I was going through a huge music at work phase, and I asked him, uh, if he could get music at work going. And that's when I was really listening to music at work. That's what I was trying to say. I just had a brain center there. So he said, ha ha ha, yeah, that's not going to happen, essentially. But he said, I'll tell you what I've been listening to a lot of recently is In Violet Light. And then his phone cut off. So, like, that was the end of our call. So I don't know. Like, it would have been better to get some more breadcrumbs there. Like, what have you listened to, Johnny? Like, have you listened to the B-sides, or are you listening to, like, what? Just tell us. Let us know. So when did In Violet Light come out? 2022?
02, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 02.
02.
So what would that be? 27 would be 25 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
That seems far away. I gotta think that Jake's got like a pipeline laid out, every couple years at least one comes out. I gotta think.
Well, and also you need to strike while the iron's hot too.
Correct.
If there's things to release and there's things to do, I mean, people are going to buy it and people want it. So,
but to counteract that, there was just an article that came out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Paul was like, "Hey, we're stepping back now."
That's right.
Well, that's the nice thing though with having archive material is that you're able to not have to do the public thing, and you're able to release this work you've already done and these remastered whatevers and do whatever, and you're able to take that time off. You don't have to be out doing that, all the press and all the things. So
yeah, I would love for more of that album.
Yeah, it's
a
favorite.
There's bonus tracks. There's bonus tracks out there already for it, but I wonder like what the B-sides are, right?
Right.
And is it you that really likes those bonus tracks, Justin? Somebody really
I do like some of them. There were when I was doing my top 20 list or whatever, I made a top 50 list for myself, and a couple of them made it on.
What? Okay, we're gonna pin that. We're gonna come back to that for sure.
Yeah. Bumblebee was on my top 50, and I know that's maybe not a popular opinion, but I fucking love that track. And like Skeleton Park is really freaking cool too.
You big on those too, Sergey?
I like those too. I like doing the top 50. I mean, because the top 20 was so hard. I mean, I had to come up with my 20 though, and like such a crunch though. So I mean, I will say that
everybody else had like a month.
I had to like get it out pretty quickly, but I like the idea of doing a 50. It gives me so much more room to breathe, I feel. So
I don't think I could ever. I don't think
I can feel so much more. Although I've listened back to my top 20 in its entirety multiple times, and I still come out every time like, yep, all right, yeah. So
yeah, me too. Yep. I actually, what I did was I took every album and kind of just picked my best songs, whether it was one song or 6 songs or whatever, and ranked them on that album. And it ended up being 52 songs, I think. So from there, I just kind of selected the number ones in order that I liked them, and then selected the number 2s in order that I liked them, and whittled it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good process.
Right, yeah.
What was your process there, Jay, for doing your 20? You never told me what your process was.
Well, to do my 20, because I was doing like some different things simultaneously, but to do my 20, I went through and I listened to everything. I listened to the entire discography, first of all. and
Yep.
just like made a master list. And I don't even know like how much that list honestly is. And then just kept listening, just went back through again and listened again and kind of see who just whittled through from there. And then there was a lot of it, I will admit, that was definitely like mood. Like there was just a lot of it that had a lot to do with that too. It was just like listening to songs and having memories, because I was working on the other episode with you and we were doing other things. And so like having these just like nostalgic moments of some stuff that I honestly had been like, oh shit, I totally forgot that was like something that had happened. And
Yeah.
um so there was a lot of that was associated with doing the 20, but it just the songs that I was just consistently listening to during that time period, I'm like, obviously these are just going to be in those top ones. So, but
Yep.
it just
Yep.
started from just going from the beginning. I'm like, I know there's stuff I don't know or I haven't listened to in forever, and so I want to start from the beginning and listen. And so I did. And it was intense, but it
It
was
It's a
is.
good
good.
way to do it. It's a good way to do it.
It was
I
Hey,
good.
hey guys,
I
I'm sorry. I got to bug out. I'm picking somebody up,
all right.
but I
Thanks
did
for
want to
joining
check in.
us.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Take
See
good
you guys.
care.
Yeah.
So my method was I took I just with I listen. Okay, at the end of this year, my goal is to be in the top 5 listeners of Tragically Hip on Apple Music. That's my goal. So I've been listening the fuck out of the hip, and I'm totally down with that. So I've been doing that for a little while. So it's all fresh in my head. Then what I did is I took just the songs that I loved the most and put them on a piece of paper. And it was 11, I think. There's 11 that are like, oh my gosh, this is where I'd start with my Desert Island 3. You know,
Yep.
like I wouldn't even want to have to do that. And then I sort of rounded out the list by going through the rest of the record titles and rounded it out that way. But the 11 I ranked, and that was really hard. But from 11 to 20, I didn't really rank. It's too difficult.
It's a hard list to make. It
Yes.
was a difficult list to make. It really was. It was not an easy task at all.
I also didn't, my votes didn't count because I was privy to seeing other people's votes all the way through the process, and I didn't want to let that influence me in any way. So my
Mm-hmm.
votes didn't count, if that matters to anybody. Otherwise, I would have taken the top 20 list a little more seriously. Sarah J, do you have anything else you want to talk about Tragically Hip wise? We are running at 30 minutes right now, and we can probably wrap this up.
I don't think so. Do you just kind of want to give everybody a shout out? There's a new episode dropping tomorrow.
Yes. And that's going to be Devin from Stouffville joining us to reveal song 37.
I love it. I'm
Yeah,
excited
it's
to
going to be a good
listen.
one. It's
Yeah.
a good one. And I'm recording this week a future episode with Hawksley Workman. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Really looking forward to that. I'm, of course, a member of DATC, and I want Sarah J to tell a little bit about that, and then we'll bid you adieu.
Yeah, datcmediacompany.com. That's where everything is. That's where you are. That's where I am. That's where everything is. We're on Instagram. Come hang out with us over there. And yeah, that's everything. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and thanks for having me. This is fun. So let's do it again sometime.
Hey, we're building a community here, brick by brick. This is the first brick, and it's not quite the perfect rectangle, but we'll get there.
It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
obtuse, so it's okay.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll see you next week. Hope so. That would be nice. Dave, I hope that we see you next week as well. And anybody else who is in the feed tonight, thank you for joining us. That's lovely. Next week, if you want to join the panel, you can join the panel as well. So there's that. That's what we got for you. Thanks for stopping by. Pick up your shit.